There's a lot of videos out there today about narcissism and codependency and love addiction. Some of my own videos out there on YouTube. But I want to take it one step further today, and I want to go into some almost case studies with you on some of my clients and what I've been noticing as patterns recently within this healing, but also when we start to empower as empaths or highly sensitive people or healing codependents. What happens is we start noticing things in a different way and getting to another level with things. I want to explain the root cause of why we still might be attracting these narcissists in our life and really help you heal. Watch this video. After doing this work for many years and healing my own issues intensely, I have to say there is another level of understanding that comes forward when we start to actually heal this journey. It's not just like we get it and then it's gone. It is a healing process. And so I want to just remind you that once you understand, oh, maybe I have codependency or love addiction, or maybe I have some unhealed inner wounds, whatever you want to call them, and I'm attracting these narcissists, and I'm starting to understand that and break off these relationships or break off these career paths that aren't really aligned with us. There's actually even more work to be done. And this is something a lot of people don't talk about, is the next layer is really facing your shame. What is shame? And I've talked about this in other videos, but I want to go through it in a new way today. Shame says there's something wrong with me. One of the things I like to focus on in my work is negative emotion and really our relationship to it. I always say you've got to get real about how you feel so you can heal, but I also say you have to relate to the issue differently. How we relate to the issue is the issue, and how we relate to ourselves in the issue is even a bigger issue. So I want to explain, as you start to watch some of my videos or someone else's videos on codependency, narcissistic relationships, narcissists in general, why we attract that, how we heal our inner wounds so we no longer attract addicts, narcissists, people who are abusing their own selves, and obviously a reflection of our own issues. So this is what a lot of people don't know too, is if you're a highly sensitive person, empath, codependent, which I call someone who is an empath that's not yet empowered and has their boundaries straight, you fall into these relationships because it is your addiction. It is your distraction away from self. What are we distracting ourselves away from? That deep pain, that insecurity, that low self-esteem, that shame, that feeling of something about me isn't lovable. Something about me must be wrong. Something about me must be defective or flawed. And the reason that happens is because we're born into an environment that is dysfunctional emotionally. I call it emotional rehab, a lot of the work that I do, because it's really about rehabilitation of your true self, of coming back to owning and understanding and loving and being unconditional with every single thing that you feel. A lot of codependents or highly sensitive people who aren't fully empowered yet have a very strong conditioning around negative emotion. When you're highly sensitive and you are born feeling everything, or you're in an environment where you've become hypervigilant and you're feeling everything, you're unable to numb your emotion. A lot of people numb their emotion with addiction, with their job, with another relationship, with all this, but a highly sensitive person is not able to numb their emotion. What we do is we judge our emotion. Because we weren't able to numb our emotion or cater to the needs of our authority figure, because we weren't really allowing ourselves to sort of alienate our own emotional self, we then got punished or judged on our behavior. And what we did as a young child, usually before the age of 8, is we started owning that judgment of our behavior. And by the way, we behave a certain way because we feel a certain way. So we started judging ourselves based on us being judged on our behavior, which meant we were being judged on behavior that was because of an emotion. So then we judged the emotion, if that makes sense. And if that makes sense to you, then you'll see that you're still judging your behavior. I just had a client before this video who's waking up to this fully now. And she's having aha moment after aha moment after aha moment. You know who you are. And what's so beautiful about watching her journey over the last months is that she's starting to drop into the understanding. And today it was this incredible understanding of why the pattern has continued of giving, basically assigning power to the things that we truly love. And this is why. When you were a child, you assigned your power to your parents. You love them so much. And you don't get that power or empowerment mirrored to you if they're not loving you back just as you are, unconditionally, authentically. Meaning, when I have a negative emotion, I'm still accepted in love. When I have a positive emotion, I'm still accepted in love. What most of us got, just because of the evolution of the world and the emotional, I would say, the emotional environment, the emotional sort of contents of what we were born into was different. There wasn't self-help books on every shelf back then. So really, it's not their fault either. But what most of our parents did is when we acted out because we were having a feeling that didn't feel good, we would try to get soothing for this. We would try to get help for this. We would try to get understanding for this. When we would act out, instead of getting what we needed and someone to say, it's okay that you feel that way. Of course you feel that way, honey. It's okay to feel bad. What we got is, I don't like that you're feeling bad. You're making a scene. I don't like what you're doing. You feeling bad makes me feel like a bad mom or dad. You feeling bad makes me feel scared because I don't know what to do about it. So I'm just going to reject it. When your negative emotions are judged and rejected, that's a very big part of you that is being judged and rejected. You're not learning how to be loved unconditionally. You're not being mirrored. Your power, your love, that you are loving someone, your love is not being returned. And so you leave it there with the authority figure. A lot of codependent people or highly sensitive people or people who are dealing with this stuff, I hate labels, right? But when we're dealing with these inner wounds, we assign authority or assign our power to authority. The reason we still do that is we're still looking for an authority figure, the original one that never gave it to us, to return our love to us so that we can own our love within. It's never been rooted as self-love. It's just always lived outside of us. This is the external living. We live for things to validate it outside of us until we learn, you know what? Whether this thing that I love validates me or not, returns it to me or not, I'm still going to love myself. And that's okay. And we don't learn that until we learn how to relate to ourselves differently. When we have a negative emotion, what do? We judge it, and we don't give ourselves a space to experience it. We cut it off and say no. And what starts happening is we project that feeling of emptiness, that feeling of unworthiness on the situation that we're feeling the thing about. So we think that bad thing's going to happen because I'm feeling bad. Or I'm feeling bad because I'm bad, which means I'm not going to get that thing that I need to validate me. And the cycle continues. So what do we do about this? Very simple, in my opinion. It's not simple, but it's a simple thing to start doing. And the simple thing to start doing is being very present and very unjudgmental of what you feel. Get real about how you feel so you can heal, but you got to get real about how you feel. That negative, fucked up, self-esteem issued, sort of insecure feeling that you're feeling because that love isn't being returned or that power isn't being returned or whatever it is, and you're afraid it won't be returned because you're afraid it means you're not worthy. Sit in that for a moment. I don't suggest doing it alone if it's a very strong emotion. But let yourself feel what you feel without needing it to be any different, without needing to shame it, without needing to make it go away, without needing to make it know that it's wrong, which is what we got from that authority figure. Reparenting our emotion is about being unconditional with everything that we feel. When we can be unconditional with everything that we feel, specifically negative emotions, specifically those shame-based feelings, specifically those beliefs that we just jump to have a conclusion so we don't have to feel uncertain or unsafe. This is what makes us feel safe within. This is what makes us claim our own ability to love ourselves anyway. And when we love ourselves more than the love we have assigned to others, we no longer fear the things that we want to do in the world. We start stepping out of our shadow and start shining more because we realize whether that thing that I love returns that love to me or not, I still have this love. It's a process. If you really are ready for this process and you want the next step, I highly suggest you look at the links below for my self-love masterclass, which is all about claiming the authority within. Soul Lab, which is emotional rehab, basically, to really reclaim your true self and live as that authentic self without judgment, but with total empowerment. And my monthly membership group, you guys, we talk about this stuff all the time. It's a monthly membership. We dive deep. So please check those things out if you're ready for the next level. This needs to be a bigger subject. We need to talk more about how to heal, not just recognizing I'm in a narcissistic, codependent, unhealthy relationship pattern, but there's something more. There's more that I can do on a regular basis and immediately to start my own healing and stop looking outside of me for it. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe and share if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.